Star Wars Battlefront pushed out its last DLC for the season, Rogue One Scarif. It marks the second time DICE and EA have been able to release and market a Battlefront product alongside a Disney Star Wars movie. Decisions to cut game development happen all the time. Yet when Battlefront's season DLC sets a bar, it sets expectations. Oddly enough, surprises too, with the free XWing VR mission that was tacked to Battlefront's latest update. Still, the Rogue One Scarif package drops, and for me, it was kind of disappointing. Like in its previous DLC updates, Battlefront brings new maps, new game modes, vehicle, weapons, 2 new heroes. It's a substantial list of additions. Yet realistically, what is your average player's experience with these features?
For the Empire.
The new infiltration mode is panic-inducing and pretty fun. Similar to Death Star's DLC Battle Station, here, the rebels push through Imperials in 3 phases, starting in a frantic space battle and finishing up on the shores of Scarif. The maps are small but polished, and true to the Star Wars Rogue One spectacle. Yet the mode is missing something big: Imperial walkers. Thankfully, Scarif DLC contains Walker Assault, but for some odd reason, the mode is stripped down. Fewer uplink stations, no controllable land or air vehicles. You'd at least figure you could operate the Walker turrets, but no. That's kind of a bummer, especially considering the Bespin DLC pulled off the standard Walker Assault, and there weren't even AT-ATs on Bespin in Empire Strikes Back. You got 2 new weapons in the Scarif DLC, which are only unlockable through HUT contracts, where you must purchase a contract with credits, and then complete a few challenges in order to get that weapon. For Krennic's DT-29, one of the challenges requires you to get 25 kills as the man himself. So now you're forced to scour the map out of action for that random villain power-up, which other players are also stalking and waiting for. Or you can play the Heroes vs. Villains mode, which heightens the chance to play as Krennic. The downside is now you're grinding a mode on maps that aren't featured in this new DLC. You're also able to pilot the new U-Wing from the movie, only if you're randomly selected when playing as a rebel and in the first phase of infiltration. Why not add this ship in Fighter Squadron? And the movie's TIE Striker is here, but just as another random power-up with no player interaction. Engage it, and one just zips around, occasionally killing rebels. When Bespin's DLC said you could fly the Cloud Car, you could, if you found it.
That's a sight for sore eyes.
Overall, Rogue One Scarif's content felt missing. Compared to Battlefront's last add-ons, playing Scarif felt like dialed-back potential. On the other hand, the latest update brings the free PlayStation VR X-Wing mission, and it felt like the polar opposite to the Scarif DLC. For just a 15-minute mission, it was so much better, being at the helm of an X-Wing, manually flipping on S-foils, tearing through TIE fighters, looping around the Rebel Alliance fleet. It was all mind-blowing. In an interview with the mission's developer, Criterion Games, 2 of the game's designers said that the intricate X-Wing cockpit they designed is now part of the official Lucasfilm Star Wars canon. On mentioning how the VR flight controls felt more fluid and less stiff compared to Battlefront's, they told me it's because they rebuilt them from the ground up. Criterion Games even recorded new lines for actor Alan Tudyk, the voice behind Rogue One's K2SO, just for this production. It was apparent that their intent wasn't to create a Battlefront side mission, but to present a sliver of what could undoubtedly be a fully functioning Star Wars X-Wing VR game.
Bravo 1, head on over for immediate docking. Star Destroyer! Bravo team, this is Red Leader. Take evasive action, we'll cover you.
Negative, Red Flight. We're under attack.
The Rogue One X-Wing VR mission and Rogue One Scarif showed me 2 paths of where a Star Wars game could go. With EA Games dishing out many Star Wars titles to various developers over the next few years, it worries me that this might become an unfortunate trend. Even if a Star Wars experience is shorter and more focused, I'd rather have that than a map pack that feels rushed in order to meet a deadline.
2, 1, mark.